Here we have a SAT math problem. Okay, let's go to the question. In the figure above, the circles are tangent each other and the radii are in the ratio 1 to 2. If the sum of their areas is 80 pi, what is the length of AB? Okay, here we have information about the radius of the two circles over here. That is, the radii of the two circles are in the ratio 1 to 2. That is, the radius of the smaller circle is just 1 unit. Then the radius of the bigger circle is 2 units. That is, the radius of the bigger circle is 2 times the radius of the smaller circle. Okay, first let me mark the center for each circle over here. And here this is the center. And let me assume R as the radius of the smaller circle. Then what is the radius of the bigger circle? So the radius of the bigger circle has to be 2 times this R. That is 2 times the radius of the smaller circle. That is 2R is the radius of the bigger circle. Now let me consider the area of the smaller circle as AS and area of the bigger circle as AB. Now let me add the areas of two circles. That is, this expression gives sum of their areas. According to the information, sum of the areas of two circles is equal to 80 pi. So that is, it is equal to 80 pi. Okay, now let me consider the formula to get area of a circle. That is pi r square. Here this r represents the radius of the circle. Okay, now let me get the area of the smaller circle. For that we have to write pi and the radius has to be squared. Here this lowercase r represents the radius of the smaller circle. It has to be squared. So this pi r square is the area of the smaller circle. Now let me get the area of the bigger circle. The same formula, pi times the radius has to be squared. Here the radius of the bigger circle is 2r. So this 2r has to be squared, equals to 80 pi. Okay, here we have pi r square positive pi times. Okay, here 2 and r are multiplied and we have the exponent 2 in common. Whenever two values are multiplied and there is common exponent, we can take this exponent separately for each value over here and multiply the results. Then we get pi times 2 square times r square equals to 80 pi. Okay, here pi times r square positive. The value of 2 square is 4. We can write this 4 in front of this pi and we get 4 pi r square equals to 80 pi. Okay, here we can assume there is one as coefficient for this pi r square. So that is we add 1 pi r square and 4 pi r square. So that is equal to 5 pi r square equals to 80 pi. Okay, now our aim is to solve for r. So once we get the r, which is being as a radius of the smaller circle, we'll be able to get this length. Once we get this length, we'll be able to get the diameter of the smaller circle. And using the value of r, we'll be able to get the diameter of the bigger circle. When we add the diameters of the two circles, we'll be able to get the length of the line segment AB over here. Okay, now let's solve for r in this equation. So for that, we have to isolate r. So let me get rid of this 5 pi over here. For that, we have to divide both sides of this equation by 5 pi. Okay, when I do so, this 5 pi and 5 pi will cancel out. Here pi and pi will cancel out. 5 goes into 5 one times and 5 goes into 80 16 times. So I am getting r square equals to 16. Okay, here to get rid of the exponent we have for r. So that is to get rid of this exponent 2, we have to take square root on both sides. When I take square root on both sides, on the left side the square root and square will cancel out. Usually when we take square root on both sides of the equation, for the square root which contains number inside, I mean for this square root, we have to consider positive or negative sign. But here on the left side we have the radius of the circle. So the radius of the circle can never be a negative value. So instead of considering positive or negative sign, we can consider only positive sign for this value. Okay, here on the left side we have r, that is the radius of the smaller circle. Square root of 16 is 4. Okay, now I got the radius of the smaller circle. So that is 4. So this length is 4 and this length is 4. Then the diameter of the smaller circle is 8. That is 4 plus 4. Okay, here when r is equal to 4, what is the radius of the bigger circle? 2 times 4, that is 8. And here also we have the same radius 8. Then the diameter of the bigger circle is 16. Okay, so here to get the length of this line segment AB, we have to add the diameter of the smaller circle, diameter of the bigger circle. That is AB equals to diameter of the smaller circle, that is 8, and diameter of the bigger circle 16. Then we get 8 positive 16, 24 units. Okay, here I got the length of the line segment AB, that is 24. We got this 24 in answer choice D. The correct answer choice for this question is D.